Hi there. I want to take some time to show you how to make an activity like this, where you have what I like to call infinite practice things. And perhaps, we've done these a couple of times in class, and I think it's kind of a cool, sort of mathematical exercise to go through the process of making one of these. So this one, real basic, you're just going to add two numbers, and so 84 plus 7, that should give us 91. We get it right, we get the little gold star, we feel good about ourselves, and then we can click this, and we can keep getting new and new and new problems over and over again. And so let's see, this one should be 51, boom, we get the gold star because we get it right. And then if we type in something wrong, so like I say it's 53, I don't get the gold star. So I want to show you how to do this. And I'm really working with a fine line here because I want to show you how to do this, but I don't want to spoon feed every little detail. My goal is just to kind of give you enough knowledge so that you have the necessary tools to then kind of open it up to your creativity and maybe give you a couple of things you have to problem solve and try to figure out. So let's start with a blank Desmos calculator screen and kind of take it from there. So step one for me is I usually make a folder and I label it stuff because you got to put a lot of stuff here, and you don't want people to see all the the magic that's happening behind the curtains. So you put it into a folder, and then what you're going to need in order to produce something, so to produce a problem, is you're going to need a couple of variables. And so I usually just start off with A and B, and then if I want random numbers, I type in the word random, and what it's going to do is it's a function that's going to produce a random number. Now, it literally produced a random number. That number is useless, though, for a lot of activities. If I want to do something specific, I'm going to put in square brackets. I'm going to put in a list of numbers I want it to pull from. So what I might do is, go 1, 2, 3, and then I don't want to write out every single number that I want, especially if it's a big list. So I'll go comma, dot, 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 100. And so it's going to pull a number randomly from 1 to 100. All right, and you can see that it just shows 59. Now, pro move, to make another one, copy and paste that way, and then I switch the A for a B. And so now I have two numbers randomly chosen. That's great. All right. Now, unfortunately, when I do this, you can't see it. So I got to think of a way for them to see it. And a good way for people to be able to see it is to use a point. And so what I'm going to do is use the point 0, 1. All right. Now I press and hold this. I get some options. I can choose to label it, and so now it's labeling it. I can also make the point disappear, and so it just shows me the label. I can also play around with the font size. So I can make it bigger. I think 4. I like that. That's a good size, and whatnot. And then I can give it directions where I want it to be, but I think I'm happy with it right there. Now, down here, I can write what the label is. So it defaults to the point value or the coordinates, but I want to change it up. So I want it to say A plus B, but I want it to pick those numbers A and B. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is you have to go with $, squiggly bracket, close it. And now that's telling Desmos, go find this variable A and put it here, whatever that value is. Same thing here. I'm going to go $, squiggly bracket, close it, and now it's looking for B. And as I hit this, those numbers change. Now it's just a style thing, so I'm going to maybe spread it out, make sure it looks decent, probably put an equal sign and a question mark or two, so now it looks like we have a problem. And so, now when I hide this, we have problems that we're going to have to solve and figure out, right? So that's good. Next, I need to put some instructions in here, okay? So what I'm going to do is type it in. Now, if you can go plus note, that works. You could also click the quotation button on your keyboard, and then it will go to a note. And you can say, something like, find the sum and write your answer below. Now what you have to do is you have to provide a space for them to put in their answer. Here's where it gets tricky, especially if you use A, because what's a great letter for an answer? A. And I hit A equals, it pulls from that. So what you might need to do is you might need to change a couple of your variables. So I like to use subscripts, all right? And I'll do something like A sub 1, B sub 1. All right, so that way if I want to use A and B and I want A and B to be here, like they don't have, doesn't have to look weird like A sub 1, B sub 1. They can get an A and a B, which I think might be a little bit easier for users to use. All right, but now this is messed up. So I got to go back here and I have to do A sub 1. So in order to do that with, not in math type, I have to use this underscore button and then 1. The underscore button and 1. It's the shift button for the dash line. If that's how you get that. Now I've got my equation. I've got a spot to put it. But how will people know if they got it right? Well, for that you need to have a picture. So I've got one right there. I'm going to put this in my folder so that way again it will be hidden. And then here's how you have to do this. You need to give it a condition. Now first, I'm going to shrink it because I think it's maybe a little too big. And I'm also going to lower it. So it's centered right now at 0, 0. I'm going to go -5. So that way it's a little bit lower. I'm also going to get rid of the whole coordinate plane thing. So go to the gear or this wrench button here, and then I can get rid of the grid, the x-axis, the y-axis, and now it's pretty clean. All right, so it's just what I want it to see. All right, now for this, I need to give it a condition. In order to do that, I use these squiggly lines again. All right, and here's what my condition is gonna be. I want A, this number down here that the people are gonna put type in their answers. I need that to equal, and then I'm gonna use my variables, A sub 1 plus B sub 1. When that is the case, my picture will show up. So right now the picture's not there because there's nothing typed in. I put in 1, the picture didn't show up. But I put in 21, the picture shows up because my A value is equal to A sub 1 plus B sub 1, which is what I told it to do. And then I can hit this button and we get new numbers. Since the numbers are different, the sum's probably different as well. And so it disappears, and then people have to figure out what the sum is in order to get the picture to show back up. And then the final step is just to click that, clean it up a little bit, maybe hit the shuffle button a couple times, and then you're good to go. And you've made and also click save, and you've made an activity with infinite practice. Now, small extension here. Let's say I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I wanted to say, guess the coordinates of the point. So for something like that, you can do it, and you can have some fun with it. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have to change my numbers a little bit. So I'm going to go with negative, let's just go -7, comma, -6, comma, dot, 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 +7, or 8. That'll work. So I'm going to try to copy and paste, make it a little easier on me. All right, sweet. And then I'm going to get rid of that. But now what I want is for my point to be A, comma, B. Oh no, not A, comma, B. I want A1, B1. There we go. I can go here. I'll show not the grid, the x-axis, the y-axis, but no, I'll show the numbers. Why not? All right. And so the idea is maybe you just have to kind of guess roughly where it is, get a feel for how far those numbers are. And then if you want to, what you can do is mix things up a little bit. And so what I would do here is maybe say x, and then subscript coordinate. Down here, I will go y subscript coordinate equals. And then I'm going to take my picture and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to move it to different spots. So I'm going to go with, let's say, -5 for one of them and +5 for the other one. And then for the conditions, I want x coordinate, which is a variable we have down here, needs to equal my x value, which is just a1. Down here, I want my y coordinate to equal b1. And so we can kind of cheat. My a1 and b1 are, let's see here, according to the, oh, it doesn't show the point. All right. Oh, wait, hit done. There we go. The point's -2, 3. So we'll cheat. -2 shows one of the pictures. Negative, oops, not -3, +3. Uh-oh, it didn't show it. Let's problem solve this live right now. Let's see here. So y coordinate, -5, -5. If I spell it correctly, equals b1. Oh, yeah, b1 is 3. Y coordinate. Oh, coordinate. I did coordinate. Okay, so I spelled it correctly. Coordinate. There we go. And now I got my gold star. Perfect. And so, oh, and then if you want to, you can like, say label, but then you can make the label be like, guess my point, right? And so you can have a little bit of fun with it, and then we can hide it. And again, the point moves around. It's going to be over the place, and then they have to type in what they think it is. So hopefully this has kind of showed you some ideas, some options. It's giving you some of the basics the basics you're going to need in order to like make these, and you can make your own. It's kind of fun. It's very mathy because you got to think about these variables. You got to think about expressions or equations and how to kind of make it so that way, when someone types in the answer, it will verify it being correct, and then you can show it off with a picture and stuff like that. So good luck with the activity. Let me know if you have any questions.